Hey y'all, this is my project Divebar. I've been working on it for the past few days. And the whole premise of Divebar is to be a simple, like peer-to-peer betting game where the whole goal is that you want your initial bet to end up being greater than the moving average of all other bets in the game. So an easy way of understanding how that works is currently the average of all bets is 25-1, which is the bar. The pot is 101, and there are 4 players. And so these players could have bet, any combination of quantities, but all that matters is that the current bar is 25. And there's 2 minutes, just about 2.5 minutes left in the game. So if I want to go ahead and enter myself, I can easily bet, let's say, like 31, which would easily clear the average. And so I would win the game. So let's confirm that transaction in my wallet really quickly. And while that's confirming, we can go over the rules a little bit more. And so let's imagine that I'm the last player in the game, which is very likely because I'm still testing, and nobody else is really using this software, this platform yet. And so since I'm the last player, in the game's eyes, I took on no additional risk in playing the game, right? Like I knew what the average was, and I could just bet right above it, and that would guarantee me a win. And in the game's eyes, that isn't worth very much. And so what we've employed a strategy in rewarding people for betting earlier in the game, since you have such an advantage when you wait until the end of the game to bet. And so that strategy is as follows. If you do win the game, so that is, again, the binary event that your original bet is greater than the average at the end of the game, you receive first your initial bet in full, and you're entitled to a weighted portion of all the losers' bets. And that weighted portion is calculated on a decreasing polynomial scale, where the first few initial players are entitled to a larger portion of the pot, significantly larger, and that decreases rapidly as you get to the end few players, where the last player who enters the game, is entitled to 0% of the losing pot. And so since I'm the last person, even though I've won, I'm only entitled to get back my original bet of 31. And players before me who also have bet before me and win, they're entitled to a portion of the loser's bets. What that is, I can't figure out because unless I go into the transaction log, then I can see, which anybody can do. It's over here in the Explorer link. But yeah, as I wait for the contract to wrap up, or the game to wrap up, in about 15 seconds, we have an oracle that will call a privilege function on the contract, which will restart the game. We do this every 10 minutes because the current epoch is 10 minutes per game. On Ethereum, like testnet and mainnet, we use chain link keepers, and so that's a really good decentralized solution for that. Currently, we are using our own script on Harmony and other networks and chains because keepers is not available on those yet, unfortunately. And so we're gonna let it go ahead and process up. There you go. So look at that. We started a new game, getting around 181. And if we refresh really quickly, we'll see that our balance up here, our winnings, has updated. And previously it was 170, now it's 200. And as we expected, since we were the last one to enter the game, we only receive our original bet back. So players can choose to leave their balance with us at any time. They can't really use it to enter the game anymore, which that could be a later function or a later feature. But they can also withdraw their current winnings by clicking the withdraw button and simply approving the transaction. There you go. Instantly confirmed. And we can see that, there you go. I have no more winnings. Currently it is pretty simple. It's also live on the Phantom network as well. And also on Coven, which is one of the Ethereum test networks, and this is where we run the Chainlink Keeper. So next steps are I think the first next step is to incorporate some way of visualizing the current game state besides just the average of the pot and the current number of players. So initially I envisioned like a graph of sorts that you could see, where everybody was betting, and then kind of calculate yourself, like your projected winnings if you bet X amount, et cetera, to make the game more intuitive and fun for everybody else. And yeah, that's about it. Thank you.